For the locker room, tell us what was the thought in there, what you saw.
All right, so you got a couple things going on, guys, on, the two themes, different themes. Drake Maye, obviously a big storyline in the game. So I was over with Kendrick Bourne and Pop Douglas, listening to them talk a little bit about Drake and how encouraged they are with what they saw. Kendrick Bourne said something that stood out to me. He said sort of the way he runs but keeps his body square is sort of Patrick Mahomes-esque.
And Joe was saying how he keeps himself upright, too, during the broadcast as he runs.
He plays a lot.
So he's got that look, right? He's still looking down despite as he's running, right?
The modern sort of day quarterback. So that stuff, guys, like encouraging, right? Like to see that from Drake. The other side of the room, which I didn't get over to as much, was the defense. I thought Drake Maye was pretty hard on the defense personally when he said that they should all feel like crap today. That's his direct quote, based on giving up the 2 runs over 50 yards. I didn't get to hear much reaction from the defensive players, Dan, but my first reaction is, like, it's a disjointed team right now. So the offense doesn't complement the defense doesn't complement the offense. The special teams is probably the best, most consistent unit, but even that has some ups and downs. And so I don't see a cohesive team. And to me, that's on Drake Maye to bring it back together.
Let's get to those 2 units.
Yeah.
Just a thought on. So let's start with the defense, Mike. No Judon. We know Bentley's hurt. We know there's been issues. But 368 yards on the ground, 2 easy drives to start the game. You put yourselves in a 14-0 hole. So much for the fast starts. What's going on with the defense? It's alarming at this point in something that is expected to be a strength.
Okay, so a lot to unpack here, and Gerard's a defensive coach, as he said. So I think that my first thought is he's got to come up with some answers with DeMarcus Covington. The other thought I have, Dan, as I sort of replay the game in my head, is it was still 14-7 at the half. You're still in the game, and I feel like the way the offense played up until the touchdown pass, Drake made to Kayshon Boutte, which was such a highlight, it almost like took away the defenses. It just sapped so much out of them that they almost, I don't want to say it emptied their tank, because that's making an excuse for them, but that's what I'm talking about. Like, it's not a team, that's working off each other.
Defense gets them out, and then you have those turnovers. I understand that. So let's talk about the offense. That 40-yard touchdown pass, the first career catch for Boutte and the first career touchdown pass for Maye. I thought Kayshon Boutte said, interesting, he said he went to the coaches after the first couple of drives and said, like, we got to throw deep. They're all over us. They're playing us close.
Yeah.
Let's throw deep. And he also said we need to be more aggressive as an offense out of the chute.
So I think the thing that stood out to me on that play, Dan, was that the Texans rushed 6, and JaMycal Hasty, the running back, helped the left tackle, Zach Thomas, on the play, if I remember it right off the top of my head. And I just felt like the tackles were asked at times to be out on an island, Dan, and when they got help like Hasty did there, gave him time to throw. And so I think that was one thought that stood out to me when he had time to
on
throw.
On his first sack, he had a running back next to him. He moved him to the other side, and he got sacked on that side by Will Anderson.
And maybe that's
right?
on Drake.
That's
maybe
learning.
That's the inexperience.
So let's end it then, Mike, with Drake Maye.
Yeah.
I am over the moon ecstatic about this kid. It's exactly what you wanted to see out of a potential franchise quarterback. He got knocked down. Mike, he got on the strip sack on the play with Anderson.
Yeah.
He went back over. Was it Anderson or the strip sack?
I think it was Anderson.
He went over to the bench. It took him a while to get up. Shaking his arms, he came off. Had my binoculars on him. Jim Whalen came over, the trainer, was rubbing his shoulder and checking out. Drake got up, threw the ball a couple times, said, okay, I'm good. The toughness,
you love the
Hunter
toughness.
Henry alluded to, was showing that. And then I just also thought the way that he threw the football on the run with his legs, you saw everything that you would say you wanted to see out of a potential franchise quarterback. So check off that box. And yes, they're 1-5. It's miserable around this team right now. But I thought today was a huge start for this franchise going forward because of Drake Maye.
And maybe how old we are, Dan, I will tell you, I'm sitting up in the press box watching like you were. After it took the touchdown pass to Boutte, to get it going, right? But they're in the game at that point, and and as he's moving them in the second half at times, I'm thinking to myself, 1993, Drew Bledsoe, the end of the year, they start building some momentum, and you see a foundation on which to build going forward.
Right.
So that's my sort of old man thought of what this could be going forward. I still think they need a lot of pieces.
They need a lot of help.
You know,
and
a lot of help.
It's a long-term project.
Key pieces, left
I'm not
tackle,
going to be
number one
an
receiver.
angry man like you on the radio, you know, and everything else. I'm content with what happened today.
You're great.
Mike, have a good trip to London.
Thanks,
We'll see you on
man.
Sports Final tonight.